Good afternoon and welcome. As you possibly saw then, everything behind the scenes is ready to go. This is Stephen on the onestreamlive YouTube channel. It is Wednesday, the 21st of February. It's 10 a.m. Eastern and it's 3 p.m. in the UK. We've got a very special program today with a very special guest. Now, the program today is, and I like this show card, so I'm going to bring it on screen, is stream from anywhere, everywhere. And that alludes to having somebody else to actually control your show, produce the show for you. And without further ado, I'm going to take that off full screen and come over here. And you can see that I'm not alone. Hello, Joe.
Stephen, good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. And Joe is the founder and CEO of Livestream Solutions. And if we bring Livestream Solutions over there in a second. Yep, we're there. Okay, and precede that with the card. I'll get there in a minute. Could you tell us, Joe, basically the benefits? Well, who's your ideal client? Let's start there.
Excuse me. Good afternoon, everybody. Ideal client really is any business or organization who wishes to elevate their brand and to build a thriving, engaged community through live streaming, brand storytelling and engagement. It's as simple as that. Every organization and business now, no matter what the side, needs to embrace the concept of building a thriving, engaged community. You can elevate your brand by doing so, and that's what we do in simple terms with Livestream Solutions.
Brilliant. Okay, now I've been fortunate. I've watched Livestream Solutions since you began, and Livestream Solutions, you're based in Ireland? Yeah.
Yeah, we are based in Ireland, but now south of Dublin, but we broadcast across the globe, and it's fair to say that there's only one person in the whole team that I have actually met in 6 years of doing live streaming, including yourself. And that's powerful. And that's why today's a brilliant topic area to discuss, because it is professional, but it's on the real cheap side in comparison to going into a studio and everything that comes with that. It's just a no-brainer, Stephen.
It is. I mean, we know from experience, from our years of live broadcasting, that actually getting things live is what you've got to be organized to do that. And also the thing is that not everybody wants to handle the back office. And Livestream Solutions takes care of everything. You just need to turn up. Is that correct?
It is indeed, yeah. I mean, we can do a whole range of things. We provide a thing called the 4 pillars of live streaming. So pillar 1 is live streaming solutions, live streaming strategy, as you were, which dovetails in with a business or organization's social media strategy and marketing strategy. So the 3 of those, social media, marketing, and live streaming strategies, form what I call the trilogy of engagement. Get those 3 right and together, and they all dovetail in. Live streaming as a service is exactly what you're doing today, what we're doing today. That is actually multicasting out to a whole range of sites and platforms to get the message out, to engage with the current and future audience, followers, fans, clients. Brand storytelling and brand engagement. It tells the story of about the individuals behind it, the inception of the organization or the business, and what you offer and where you're going to in the future. And we underpin that with organizational change. We look at how the business or organization is structured and offer advice to those depending on the level that they're at. So, for example, for ourselves, for Livestream Solutions, Livestream Academy, we would tend to deal with the small to mediums and local businesses because that ties in neatly with what we're doing. Our larger clients, or those larger ones who come to us, we will facilitate that. But we work with a joint venture partner, one of UK's leading digital marketing agencies, Secret Source Marketing, and we hand them across, and we work with Secret Source Marketing to be able to facilitate the larger organizations, because that it's about the organization. It's not about the ego of me or anybody in the team. And so is having a solution for everybody to be able to give them what they need to do.
Yeah, it's about producing a professional product as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We can provide hosts, we can provide producers and directors behind the scene, and we do both regularly, depending on the size of the organization and the costs involved. But a lot of it is about the remote working. So, for example, we did work a couple of years ago with a US-based Major League Rugby team called the New England Free Jacks. In fact, they are the leading team in the whole of the United States for rugby union. And we worked with them, and they had World Rugby's leading commentator was the front-facing host, and I produced and directed everything behind the scenes. I've never met Alan. It's just brilliant at what we can do. So again, people don't know what they don't know, Stephen. They really don't. And the capabilities of remote working is brilliant. You know, everything from hosting a team meeting in the studio, which personalizes everything, doing your discovery, all the way through to your pre-production, your production, and your post-production.
Right. Shall we bring a screen share in, and you can tell us a little more?
Yeah, there we go. That's one of the testimonials on our page at livestreamsolutions.org. The great man himself, Darren Stanford, the lead World Rugby commentator, goes all across the globe. And we formed a joint venture to work with the New England Free Jacks a couple of years ago. And it was simple to do. So he produced the media that goes with it, the short pre-recorded video clips. We'd have live guests in the studio everywhere, from everybody from the commissioner of Major League Rugby himself, the CEO, Alexander Magleby, of the CEO of the Free Jacks, down to the players, the fans. We brought everybody in. It's just so simple to do. It becomes second nature. And to have the power to be able to do that at a fraction of the cost is really, powerful to do. And I say, I've never met any of them. I've never met Dallin. We've been friends for about 6-7 years. And that's, I can't overestimate or over-egg the power of being able to do remote broadcasting. In TV parlance, I suppose it's outside broadcasting. The cost constraints of doing some of those things, going into studios, is astronomical, whereas we don't need that. And we can connect people through with the likes of onestreamlive from anywhere in the globe and produce a professional show which goes out live. It's available forever in perpetuity on catch-up. It goes to a multi-range, multicast at the time of going live, or like this one, pre-recorded, goes out, and then you can then clip that into small chunks to repurpose. There is so much to it. It's just, incredible.
Well, yeah, it is magical, isn't it? And basically, what about the training that you gave to the New England Free Jacks?
Well, the training was quite easy because Dallin being World Rugby's lead commentator, so, excuse me, like I say, he goes across the globe and he's a very front of house, very natural, gregarious guest, amazing one-liners, and he really makes it fun. And so for the training, it was a case of running him through the back studio, how everything worked, like we do with everybody. We've got a show tomorrow, for example, for the first time. First, a 2-part show with a company where the head of the marketing is based in Sri Lanka. And what we've done is we've invited her to be a member of our admin team so she can understand the back of the office. We did the same to Dallin. So we take them through step by step of what's needed. One of the great things for the Free Jacks and for Dallin and for any of these other organizations that we work with, they are reassured because they can go to our site, they can see previous clips, They can come into the back office. It's all part of that reassurance piece of showing them that, as we had in the forces, the 7 Ps, prior preparation and planning prevents for performance. And that's, once you put that in place, you can then have some fun. It's educational. It's getting the message across. It's engaging. You're engaging in real time with the viewers on. And for OneStreamLive, it's fantastic because all of that collated chat comes in together. There's nothing else out there.
No, the unified chat comes into its own, doesn't it? When you broadcasting out different destinations and all the chats come into one place, and you can reply from one page and it goes out everywhere, and you don't miss anything.
No,
that's the key.
And of course, because it's on catch up as well, you constantly get there's a comment comes in. So you'll get notified, and then you can go back in, and then you can re-engage with those people again. And again, I think people who watch, people who watch live stream shows, that engagement piece, for many of them, there's 2 things. One, actually, you might be the only individual that they may see. In a world which is more connected, we are more disconnected and lonely in many ways. And that's not a negative aspect, that's just the truth.
Yeah.
But the other thing I find that a lot of people tell me is that they feel that they're the only person watching. And I think that's really powerful, because when you then engage with those people, you're then building that relationship on behalf of the client or with the client. And it's building that knowledge, that trust. It's the whole know me, like me, trust me, you'll buy from you. And that's a really powerful thing to do, to be able to engage with them. And you're building that community, one person on one person, one show on one show.
Yeah, step by step. Now, how important is it to be have a schedule and to actually go out live same time every week?
I think it is. For some of our clients, we will do a monthly show. For some of the clients, for example, the new client tomorrow, for example, we'll do 2 in 10 days. Because it's that initial raising of awareness. And then the second episode is teaching them about live streaming and the power. Because Jill runs a marketing support network for a lot of private healthcare practitioners globally. So we're going to talk about her and her business and how she helps people. And then part 2 in 10 days' time will be about live streaming and the power of live streaming that her clients can then take on. So you're then taking another natural step. For some of our clients, we do bi-monthly. For some, we do quarterly, because it ties in with their social media and marketing strategy. Some of them don't need it actually every single month if their strategy is done. And this is where it comes in from the organizational change piece, working with them and making sure that's done. But regardless of when it is, we try to go live, say on the last Wednesday or the last Thursday or the first Monday of the month at the same time. So people get used to that. And then the week before, maybe put, in case you missed it, the last show, next week's show is coming up, just as a gentle reminder to bring people through with you.
Yep, that's it. Production companies, not just for the live show, production companies, pre-production and post-production, isn't it?
Excuse me, yeah, very much so. We will take as soon as the live show is finished, as you know, we can, and most people don't understand this, they think it's a live show, that's it. But we can download this live show, we can download just the audio bit, and then you can repurpose that in a number of ways. So we have a repurposing package where we can do we do all of the pre-production, we do the production, and the post-production aspect is we have the live show. We can then download that live show and we can then put it onto a podcast. So Spotify for podcasters now allows you to put the audio podcast and the video podcast. So you then using that a second time out because it's a different audience. We then use specialist software where we can do short 30, 60, 1.5 minute clips to hone in on a point, which are then better for some other platforms like Instagram or things like that, or just a bit of a taster and then link back to the full show if people want. Because different people got different things going on, their attention spans with everything going on. So it's like, oh, I like that clip. There's a very good point there. I'll go and watch the full show because the link's in. So there's all of that. And some shows, you can actually write an accompanying blog article with it. So that repurposing package, should the client want that, yes, it comes as an overall cost. You can just do the live show if they want that. But the overall, the repurposing package is a powerful thing that we've now put together. And of course, not forgetting that we have Livestream Academy. And the Academy is designed to take individuals who then want to be self-sufficient within a business or an organization or as a solopreneur. And then we can train them through the Academy, utilizing a course that we're about to release over the next couple of months, which is an online 9-part series of 30 minutes an episode called the Idiot's Guide to Live Streaming. The Dummy's Guide to Live Streaming. And then also you've got your course that you wrote specifically with OneStreamLive on Udemy. So there's a whole range. It's giving people control, self-sufficiency, so they can come in at one end. One of our team, as you all know, the great David Topping up in Ulster, he started as a viewer of one of my online rugby shows, became a guest, co-host, host. I taught him as a producer director. He now runs his own 3-man team running a monthly live show. What more could you ask for then to get pulled through like that through?
Yeah, to actually go from viewing a live broadcast to actually being a guest and then hosting and then producing, it's the full journey, isn't it? That's the journey. I mean, we both started off watching other people's videos.
Yeah.
And we've learned a lot over the years, and that's been condensed into the Livestream Academy. And what we're going to do, if I just share screen for a moment, we'll just talk about that. So I'm going to go for screen share and go here, and I'm going to share a tab. Okay, and that takes us straight over. Say straight over. If I show the screen, there you are. Yeah, as you said, the dumbest guide to getting started in live streaming.
Yeah. Everything that we everything we try and do, I look at it from a client or a follower's point of view. So it's a great thing. Again, picked up the voice. It's called KISS methodology. Keep it simple. I'm stupid. So if I can get something and we can put it into a simple set of steps, that bricks that we build on week in, week out, 30 minutes per week. It will be starting my opening at the end of March, myself and yourself through OneStreamLive, to be able to dispel the myths, break it down for people to be able to do. So we're still developing that now. And we thought, you know what, we're going to put this up there because we have an awful lot of questions. So that page itself, as we're writing each of those 9 series at the moment, some of those things are changing because life is changing. So, but in essence, it at the end of it, it will allow somebody to understand what it's about, what they need to do, and to give them the faith that to come to us and say, okay, right, lads, I'm ready to take on the next phase. Teach me what to do. And of course, the whole show me, tell me, I'll do scenario comes into this. That's what we're hoping that, that's a proven track system. We show people, we tell people, we then help them to do it. Simple.
Yeah, and you want those who are interested in doing everything themselves to become involved from the beginning. And this course leads you from knowing nothing about live broadcasting to being proficient in using the system, presenting your company on screen. And it's step by step. We don't assume anything. As it says, it's titled The Dummy's Guide. And you can come with no knowledge and people can take away from the course. If I just go through the topics for a moment, week 1 is live streaming unveiled, which is where we go behind the scenes. And then episode 2, mastering the general principles. Episode 3, navigating the live streaming platforms that are available. And we're spoiled for choice at the moment, but OneStream is our home. Episode 4, essential equipment for beginners, because this is the thing. People need hardware, don't they? They need to get the right camera, the right microphone, and we're here to advise.
Yeah, very much so. And actually, it's not as expensive as people think to buy some quality equipment, some hardware to be able to get yourself up and running. Literally, it is. And of course, it's an investment in yourself and in your business. You're going to save a whole pile of money than you'd be spending on another type of marketing. So again, everything is this is what you need to get you started. This is what we recommend and the reasons why. And there's no pretense. There's no ulterior motives. We're here to help you to become self-sufficient.
We enjoy live broadcasting so much. We want to transfer our enjoyment to you and for you to learn. Episode 5 is knowledge and training essentials. Episode 6, mastering software, getting to grips with everything. And then episode 7 is a live streaming journey. Would you like to talk a bit about that, Joe?
Episode 7 specifically. Yeah, I think once you've given them the first 6 episodes, episode 7 really is then leading you in almost 7, 8, 9 are really leading you into and getting yourself started. So, right, lads, this is what we do next. You understand, and we've been through the background of live streaming, what it is, why you should do it, why by 2027 it's going to be worth 250 odd billion as an industry, why you should be involved. We've taken you through the platforms, the hardware, some of the software and the apps that will make things like my background here. I'm not using a formal green screen. I've got an AI system. It just looks, I can put any image on in the background. My lighting, actually, I've just noticed I haven't set up my normal lighting, but the new AI imagery software that we've got as a backdrop, I think is looking pretty perfect, to be fair. So then when you get to episode 7, you're then starting to, right, what do we need to do? How do I then move on to the next level? And that journey then just starts where you are. And it's almost from a business perspective, because we don't do this from a business perspective, but it is a business. And let me explain that. It's almost like a soft approach. So you're taking people through step by step. When they're ready, they can then come in. And don't forget, Stephen, that some businesses and organizations will come to you in different ways. And that's the power of what we do. The message goes out there and people will come in. Some will come in direct and say, can you do this for us? Some will come in and want to learn themselves because actually they might not want to be a host. But they need to understand the journey from guest to host to producer, director, and the role and the importance. I go back to as everybody knows, I would stand up in front of 10 million people if I had the opportunity to, because that's just the type of guy. When you're 21 stone, wherever you go in a room, you're next to somebody. So there's no hiding. No. But actually, that ego thing, I'm nearly 60. Those days are gone. So sitting in the background and doing the role and the importance of having a producer director is critical. So we take you through those steps on episode 7. It's again, people go away then and think, I could do that.
Yeah,
I could do what you do, and that's all we want them to go away with at that stage.
Yeah, I mean, I'll stop sharing now. He's transferring, and I'm going to go here. Hopefully, we've got it. It's transferring the passion and the knowledge, isn't it? The two go hand in hand. Sure. The passion for live broadcasting, the knowledge. I mean, as Joe just said, we can show you everything. We can demonstrate it. And I'm just going to catch up with Joe here because Joe's got the most wonderful background, and I'm going to change my background to this. Okay. So we're both using the same software. We'll tell you what the software is. I suppose at this point, we did have an agenda, and we're 24 minutes into the show. So let's have a look at the agenda. Okay, just to remind ourselves, you're watching Joe Shepherd from Livestream Solutions, and this is our agenda today. Remote live production essentials, introduction. I think we've done that one, Joe. Who is your ideal client? And I think we can come on to point 3, having gone over the other points and just remove that. Why should businesses broadcast?
Well, this was interesting. I said to you before we went live, sometimes we actually do ourselves a disservice and the clients as well, because there are so many benefits. And I like everything. We'll go back to before the repurposing. So I'm going to actually write an accompanying blog article for this over the next 2 weeks, once this is out to everybody to use. But on the basis of that, I thought, do you know what? I know what the benefits are. But I started writing them thinking, oh, there's another one. And 6 years in, I'm still finding things, because when somebody says, will it do this for me? Does it benefit me this way? So I'm making no apologies about reading off some notes, because I got really excited about forgetting some of those really important things. So increased reach and accessibility. Global audience. Live streams can be assessed from anywhere, enabling businesses to reach a global audience. It's inclusive. Very, very inclusive. And that's one of the things I like about it. A young lad that we have on one of our rugby shows has learning disabilities, but he's been on as a guest on a number of occasions talking about mixed ability rugby. I think that's powerful to be able to do. The only thing I haven't been able to do so far is find somebody who can do deaf signing for me on a regular basis. That's something I'd really need to break into. But people with physical limitations, or those who cannot attend in person to a studio, can participate. Community building. That shared experience. When we said before about really what is it we do for people, we help elevate brands through live streaming, brand storytelling, engagement. We help to build thriving, engaged communities. That's really important. User-generated content, encouraging viewers to create and share content. We do that on a number of our shows. We get organizations like One Tomorrow for Practice Momentum. At some point in the future, if we continue with them, we'll get some of their joint venture clients on, because that's effectively what the clients are, to tell their stories. And so it's that involvement of people. Brand building, transparency, that live interaction that builds knowledge, it builds trust, and shows the human side of the business. It is not, I have to clarify this, Stephen, it is not a television program, but it's all in the professional setup that you do. So you can have, what we say in Ireland, a bit of crack. It can be a little bit lighthearted, because that also encourages other people to think, I can do that. It's professionally run, but I don't need to be a News of 10 type front of house person to be able to do this. Ordinary people can. Cost effective, It reduces costs. Virtual events eliminate the cost of physical venues, travel, the content repurposing. We talked about that before on our repurposing package. There's lots and lots of stuff you can do from one live show. And the stuff previously you can use before to promote what's coming up ahead. You can monetize. Clients can monetize the content, subscriptions and pay-per-view if they've got those type of sites, product launches and demonstrations, updates, customer support and training if they want to be able to do that, flexibility and convenience to be able to do it wherever and whenever you want, with people who, like ourselves, who are trained and can actually help you through this. You don't need to worry. It's never ending. It's just many opportunities. So, I ramble and ramble. I just get so excited by
I'm going to pick
what is
up on
available there.
I'm going to pick up on something you just said. We've learned over the years that live streaming is about one thing. It's about telling your story. We're here to help you tell it effectively. Your story can be about the products you make, about the service you provide, about your customers, about your suppliers. There's an endless conveyor belt of topics. You'll never run out of something to talk about. Whether it's you doing a monthly show or a weekly show, you always have different fresh topics. And now, Joe's been pointing out all the time that the talent, the on-screen talent, can come from within your company. You have people working with you right now who can appear front of screen and who can tell your stories. Why? Because they work for you. They know the business inside out. They know their jobs inside out. They have a vested interest in your company succeeding. They will come on camera and they will basically tell the story as it is, and they'll be so enthusiastic. You can't fake enthusiasm. and your employees won't do that. They will want to. They'll basically be in a contest to who's going to be on camera this week, and you, as the owner of the company, can get involved when you wish. You don't have to be on camera every week. You can have your staff on camera. It is a magical thing to do, is go live, because you, with Spoiled for Choice, you can go live on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or Twitch, or even on your own website, which is one of my hobby horses, is broadcasting to your website. Because with OneStreamLive, and I'm just going to hopefully do this. Yeah, sorry, Joe. With OneStreamLive, you can, the system that we're using, you can broadcast live to your website.
Yeah, and I think that's really powerful. Not to decry social media platforms, but social media platforms are great at being able to help build your thriving community. But ultimately, a business or an organization needs to drive those followers, those current and future followers, fans, clients, customers, to their own website, because that's where you want to sell them this stuff. And then more importantly there, again, not to decry the social platforms, because without them, we wouldn't be able to really do as much as we do. But you're in a control. You're controlling the narrative. You're controlling the flow of information and engagement and building your thriving community. When you're going live to your own website, you can show directly the links through to your products and services. You can have customers and clients come on and talk about them. We do that with some of our clients. We get some of the better customers who like to come on and tell their own stories about why they use a particular product or service. And that's very, very good as well. So, and there's lots of real powerful things there. But yeah, it's the future as well. It's the future. In fact, I saw in fact, it was Jill Woods from Practice Momentum last week who sent me through a quote by the great Gary Vaynerchuk. And we haven't seen him. He's got about 5 million people on his YouTube channel. And Gary V said that for him, live streaming is where the internet was in 2014, really. People were aware of it, but its time hadn't come. And as we know from the great Victor Hugo, nothing, not all the armies in the world can stop an idea whose time has come. Live streaming as a service.
Yeah, it totally is. And now is the time to get involved. We know that the potential is there. It's untapped. And you could go into the market within, well, basically, let's talk about the initial stages, about talking with the client. They've known nothing of live video. Where does the journey begin?
The journey, as I said before, the journey can come in a number of different ways. Either you can go to them and approach them and say, listen, have you thought, I've looked at what you're doing and we could help with that. Or they will come to you, or a lot of people are referred to as third parties. So what we do then is we'll do what we call a discovery exercise with them. We'll quick call, we'll get them into the studio straight away so you can meet each other. And therefore, you're showing people what the power of the virtual studio, the platform, is straight away. And we go through what they do, what they're looking for, and how it will fit in, dovetail with their social media marketing. For some of them, depending on the size, it can be a secondary, tertiary, even worse down the line event. It's almost the second fiddle to what they're doing, because some are just trying to survive getting the products and services out there. So to do the rest, they need an awful lot of help. Once we have then analyzed what they do, how they do it, when, where, why they do it, and who does it, again, you go back to all the fancy systems in the world, but Rudyard Kipling, he of Jungle Book and other fames, wrote, to paraphrase him, 6 good brothers have I true, what, where, when, why, how, and who. Ask those 6 questions to anything in life, you will automatically, naturally get to a satisfactory conclusion. Once we've got that information, we then put together a proposal for them, which generally will sit in a 2-part or a 3-part show, telling the story of them. So this is where brand storytelling and brand engagement, humanizing the individual or individuals behind the company or organization, the products, the services. So you go from as was, as is, will be in either 2 or 3 episodes. By then, most people are pretty hooked. In the early days, you will ask them, have you any interest of being trained? Do you want to be front of camera yourself? Most people do. They're just not quite sure. So again, you're doing that work with them. So almost you're an extension of their business. And that's why the discovery pit is really, really critical to understand who they are and what they are. Providing live streaming as a service, actually, I think is fairly easy to do. It's pushing some buttons, it's understanding, but the pre-production, the production, and the post-production is critical. You're buying in, you're almost getting inside the head of that organization or the individual involved to understand what makes them tick, what's their raison d'etre. And when you know that, you can then look at taking them on that first journey.
Yeah. So you're looking at the company and their brand values. Because what you want to do is to bring those brand values into live video, and you want to be able to set everything up in their image. So in other words, every company is different. Every broadcast is different. It's all stylized for the individual company, isn't it?
It is very much so. So we, excuse me, when we do the initial discovery call in the studio, I would just automatically download their company logo or their colors, if they don't have an overlay already, and we'd have their logo up, and I'd have a banner running saying, Livestream Solutions, Livestream Academy welcomes Stephen Healy, blah, 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 blah. And it's those small things which people think, wow, that's a nice little touch. I did one for a guy in Dublin last year, and when I did the discovery call with him, there was a photo of his office online. So I downloaded it, put it as my backdrop, and he was pretty blown away by that, it is fair to say. So it's small things like that, just showing the potential client that you are interested in them and what their brand is and what their values are, what's their story, why have they got their colors, where does the logo come from, what's the inception of it, when they close their eyes, what did they see for their business or organization. That's pretty powerful to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's becoming part of the organization, isn't it? It's actually getting to know the aims of the company, the products or services that it provides, and the staff. Because we start with the CEO and then we work down.
Yeah, very much so. Some large organizations like, excuse me, like the New England Free Jacks, for example, very early on, I got to know the CEO, Alexander Migleby, as well as, some of the players. Their skipper, Josh Larson, Canadian, I still keep in touch with him from time to time. It's about building, even though we're not doing a show for them anymore. And it's building that relationship. I tell people, I'm very, very open and honest, as you know, and I tell everybody that we're going to work with, I actually want to be working with people for the next 10, 15, 20 years. I want to be an extension of what your business or organization is doing. I want my team to do to that. I say the team, you're all independents. I have to satisfy that. When you go to livestreamsolutions.org or livestreamacademy.org, and it's meet the team, all of those are individuals who we've engaged together with previously like this, and we've all agreed to do a joint venture partnership collaboration to provide the services we can so we can scale up as appropriate. And I go back to what we've done with Secret Source Marketing. For a larger client who needs potentially more wider marketing support, I'm not an expert marketer, but my pal Nick Carlson, who is managing director, and his team are. So being able to hand over and say, listen, can you have a chat with them? We'll still produce this, but you need to look at them as a holistic, wider approach, because it's all about the client. It's not about us and our live stream. It's giving them the best thing.
True. I mean, whether it's a one-off special or a long-term series. But shall we just meet the team? Let's just take a diversion from that. I'm gonna go over here and share screen, and that will bring into our studio. And as I scroll down, we'd like to introduce the team.
Yeah, Absolutely. So obviously myself, I need to replace that photo, but there we go. Stephen, obviously, who's really sort of heads up everything to do with the training and the academy side of things. And again, I worked with everybody in the team on different projects over the last 5, 6, 7 years. And then I will work with each of those on different projects within. So the 9-part series, the Dummy's Guide to Live Streaming, I'm working with Stephen because he's a specialist in building those courses and programs, and we work together well on that side. So that's Stephen, and why I would work to give people an example of bringing in the right person. Brigetti Limbanda, based in South Africa. Again, if you want somebody who's just a personified professional interviewer, I could never, and that's not put myself down, I could never be what Brigetti is. She just has a way in front of camera, whereas mine's a little bit more, it's a little bit more gregarious and outgoing. She is absolutely authentic and professional in all she does. So for Brigetti, for example, we've one of our services that we provide is a soon-to-be changed name, by the way, called Chronicles of a Lifetime. And Chronicles of a Lifetime is a 4-part series that we record with individuals breaking their life. So I'm 60 in 10 days' time, and we'll be doing the example run through on me over the next 2 months. We break that into 4 parts, and Brigetti will interview me. Episode 1, 0 to 15, episode 2, 16 to 30, etc., etc. We then package all of that together. And there is nothing out there like that at the moment. And then we can produce an AI derivative book at the end of it. For those people who remember, when I was younger, there was an Irish bloke called Eamon Andrews, and in the UK it was This Is Your Life. So you got the red book. And that's so working with Brigetti, because she is the best person, in my opinion, to be able to do that front interviewing style that we would need for that. David Topping, example of the transition from based up in Ulster, now runs our monthly rugby show, White Walkers Chat and Crack. Crack being fun, obviously, in Ireland, and the White Walkers came from because that's where Game of Thrones was filmed. So that's where that is, the Ulster Rugby Roundup show. He now heads that up. I haven't seen as much of a transition in an individual as I've seen with David Topping since I've known him over years. So David is great to speak to for anybody who wants to go on that journey from guest through to producer. And then as we move down, Marco Novo, Amazon Live's influencer like yourself, based in Portugal. Very, very funny man. He has a great way of being able to elevate live streams. He is just a joy to watch. He has so much passion and fun in everything he's doing. So again, it's having people who can scale up as a, if you like, as a live streamer, but also having people with a skill set, excuse me, that you can bring in for specific projects like yourself, Stephen Brigetti. Mm-hmm. Justine Van Oort is a French girl. She is living in Argentina, and she is the head of customer service for the fantastic Missing Letter social media content scheduling service. I purchased an agency license for that so we could do our own social media drip campaigns to automate, to make life easier. And Justine, courtesy of them, is now our head of content scheduling as well. So again, we can offer a social media content scheduling service and system, which is very, very good value, which has got AI right behind it. And we've got somebody who understands social media, and Mademoiselle Justine does that and can provide that capability, by the way, Stephen, for clients. So because we have our own agency level license, we can offer that social media content scheduling service with Justine for a set price, which will be an awful lot more value than certain other ones. And you've got somebody who briefs the system and everything in it and understands it inside out on behalf of the company. that's why I pick certain people to do certain roles.
Yeah, but basically what you created, Joe, is a one-stop shop for live streaming and marketing.
It is, and actually we're adding to it all the time. We, in fact, if you scroll down a little bit more, and Hit Web Design, run by the great Paul Handley, who built the Livestream Solutions site, and he does that for us. And again, secret sauce marketing. So Paul will do the small to medium style businesses, the website designs, the SEO, secret sauce marketing, full digital services company. And again, having those capabilities that we can offer to clients is something that our own clients will be very good at. We're adding more in every day. We've added now in a lot of post-production, capabilities as well. So that's where the repurposing model came from, the package, where we can then take the clips. And again, we do that ourselves. David Topping does a lot of that for me as well. And then we can put those out. So it is, we feel we're almost there. Well, we are there with a one-stop shop, but we're adding to it and tweaking it more and more each day.
Brilliant. And as I say, I've been fortunate to be involved from when it started and to watch it grow. The idea that you had and to actually watch it. Now, we did start this with an agenda. Shall we see how we're doing on the agenda? I think we've covered most of the points. I think what we need to come back to, because this has been golden, to be honest, is if I just take that off screen and it then becomes just you and I think what we need to do, perhaps in March, is to come back and continue the story and to follow basically with you and your clients the story of live video production and live streaming, and we'll get involved in what you're involved in. How's that sound?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it comes back to that joint venture, partnership, collaboration of promoting each other, both with the platforms and the individuals and the capabilities that we can do as well. If we focus on that dual promotion across all areas, then we're always going to get to a much better position. And we teach that again to the clients as well.
Indeed. So we had great pleasure. Joe, thank you for joining me. If I take that off screen again, thank you for joining me. Let's go here. Okay. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. It's always good to talk about what we love doing. There's no rocket science. This is a very, very simple approach to what we're doing. And technically, one person can host, produce, and direct their own show for a smaller company, which keeps the cost down. If you want something a little bit more, you've got a slightly larger package. But the cost-benefit analysis doesn't take long to do on this. Yeah. And you'll never know what you don't know. So you need to get in touch with ourselves. You need to get us to run you through and explain to you what we do and why and how we can benefit, because there's so much more to it. Just do it. There was a very Nick Carlson, the managing director of Secret Sauce Marketing, when we did our launch show recently, we took a small clip from him, and that clip, he said, there's a lot of organizations who are still a little bit shy or scared or embarrassed to maybe jump in front of camera and promote themselves in the business. He said, you're going to get left behind. And that's very true. It is here. It is now. Live streaming isn't going anywhere. It's only going to get bigger and better. So it all starts with a conversation. Let us work with you to elevate your brand and to help you build the thriving, engaged community that you need through live stream solutions.
Right. From myself and Joe on OneStreamLive, we say thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please ask in the comments. Joe and I, as there's a course starting in March on OneStreamLive, we'll keep you informed of that. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye for now. And we're going to disappear from here.